See, y'all know me. Y'all been around me long enough. And if you don't, you will. I can't stand disrespect. I was talking to my wife about this the other day, about what fuels people. Some people need motivation. They need to listen to Eric Thomas. They got to listen to those guys. They got to listen to motivational. You got to put the CD on. You got to put the motivational, had a little background music and all that. Right? You got to have it. You know what fuels me? Disrespect. I told my wife, I said, if people wanted to get me out this space, if people wanted to undo me, you know how you do that? You respect me. Because disrespect, I will never, ever go away. Ever. Right? I feed off it. There are parasites in the world that feed off of other things. They feed off people's misery, and they can't survive without it. There's one particular one on this platform that I know. A huge parasite. Huge parasite. All he does is live to suck off of other creators. Right? But we ain't talking about me. We talking about Mr. Aidan Hutchinson. I love this. Aidan Hutchinson feels like he got snubbed. Now, you know what's funny is this wasn't talked about at the beginning of the year. This wasn't talked about in April. This was talked about right before we play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right before we talk about the random dancing. If you already know, I don't got to say. If you knew from my description, then you already know, big dog. Aidan Hutchinson, all right, feels like he got snubbed by Jacksonville. He got snubbed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I think this is intriguing. Now, if you were under a rock, the Jacksonville Jaguars, it was, who they're going to take. Is it going to be, for the longest, it was Aidan Hutchinson. And then Trayvon Walker in the last 6 weeks, from middle of March, from about free agency, this guy shoots up the draft board. I'm talking about from the end of the first round all the way up. I'm not even sure how it happened. But according to Aidan Hutchinson, he believed he was the pick. This is coming from Justin Rogers and the Detroit News. He says, it was weird. I thought I was going there for about 3 months, and then about a week before the draft, something changed, Hutchinson said. I guess my arms were just not quite long enough. But that hit a week before the draft, so we'll see if that extra couple of inches was the difference. So that tells me, hold on, he ain't done yet. He said the Jags are obviously the one team that passed on me, so they will definitely be in the back of my head playing that game. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, Aidan. You talking to people in the D, bro. You can keep it a buck. You can keep it a buck. You can say what you really want to say and say they passed on me. I'm feeling some type of way. I'm going to be on Trevor's head. That's all you got to do. See, I know what you're trying to say, Big A. He said, the article continues, despite his college production and top-tier athleticism, some believe his ceiling was limited by his 32 and 3/8 inch arms, which are below average for his position. Now, I don't know what the defensive tackle arm length is supposed to be, but we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it yesterday in the live stream. There's an individual plays for the Los Angeles Rams. Lions passed on him in 2014 when we drafted Eric Dropsy. Aaron Donald has short arms as well. And if you look at the comparison, they're very similar. And Aaron Donald is a man-child, a monster. Everybody's worst nightmare. When I actually saw this, the arm length comparison before he was drafted. Aidan Hutchinson, that is. And when I saw who he was in the same tier as, I was like, oh my God. If he can even a smidget like Aaron Donald. Now, he don't got the size. He don't got the strength. But I don't think Aaron Donald is 6'6", right? Listen. Aidan Hutchinson is he feeling some type of way. The Jaguars instead took Georgia's Trayvon Walker, who had less production in college but posed equal athleticism and the more prototypical frame for the position at 6'5", 275, okay, with 35.5-inch arms. Aidan says, I didn't meet with them at the combine. I visited there once, but I didn't talk to them a ton. He said, Hutchinson said about his pre-draft contact with the Jaguars. I guess they just really didn't see me in their system, so that's fine by me. Detroit did, so I'm here now and I'm happy. All right? And that's the politically correct version of you passed on me and I'm feeling some type of way. And I just got to say this real quick because I saw this yesterday and it's kind of irks me. Now, I watch Locked On Lions. I know they weren't on the channel for, they didn't have a YouTube channel for a while. Matt Derry's been doing this for, he said 7 years, somewhere around there. I got no issue with Matt Derry. It's not about Matt Derry. It's not about Locked On Lions. It's about the fact that when I watched the show yesterday, I think that their crossovers are super biased. They're super biased, and nobody ever picks our team, right? Okay, I see that. You don't think the Lions, look, we were 1-6 at the time. But the reason I brought them up is because according to their host, I don't watch Jaguars games. I can't. As a matter of fact, the Lions game is only being shown in Michigan and in the Jacksonville area of Florida. That's it. But the reason I brought this up is because the Jacksonville Jaguars host chose his team, as they all do. Okay, everybody but Matt. Matt picks he picks the Lions when he thinks he's gonna win. He picks them when he doesn't. Right? He picked the Bills to win that game. According to that host, he says that a lot of what Trayvon does not show up on the stats. Right? Trayvon has 2.5, somewhere around there, sacks. He's got the 1 INT. He's got a handful of tackles, I think, a lot of tackles. But what he does is it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. And I'm like, well, if you're the first overall pick, right? If you're Nick Bosa, is that okay? Is that okay? So Nick Bosa, Chase Young, is that all right? Let me ask y'all a question. If Aidan Hutchinson got double teamed all year long and didn't get a single sack, but everybody else got sacks, would you think that, I don't think that would fly. I don't think that would fly at all. I think if you are drafted number 2, you got to produce. So the reason I brought that whole Locked On segment on is because I think that Aidan Hutchinson was worthy of a number 2 pick. I'm not saying that Trayvon wasn't. Like I said, I don't watch Jacksonville Jaguars games. I can't even do it. But it seems like it's okay, according to the Jacksonville Jaguars host, that Trayvon does a lot of non-statted work when Aidan is held to stats exclusively. Don't forget that week 5 or 6 or whatever it was early in the season, he was most doubled behind Nick Bosa, a rookie in his first year. Was most doubled behind Nick Bosa, but it's okay for Trayvon Walker because what he does doesn't show up on the stats. So let me know what you think below. Do you think Aidan Hutchinson, he feeling some type of way, or you think that's honestly how he feels?